Hello, my name is Mike Nevo and welcome to my Football Manager 2012 blog, following my almost impossible career with Chester. Right, the goal that I would like to talk about is by Kyle Pope in this thrilling 4-3 victory against Shrewsbury. Let's move on to that. As you can see, they were attacking us at this point, moving it across to the right hand side, and a fantastic tackle from McGinn and a brilliant run by Kyle Pope evading the tackle and put it straight through the keeper. So brilliant goal. I think that was one of the best of the season so far. Let's move on. This is my mid-season update with Chester, talking about a few key points in our season so far. It's our first season in League Two, and as you can see, I've gone to the 6th of January. Just played a couple more games, couldn't resist. We are 16th, and we've played 24 and 29 points over the 24 games. 34 goals scored, 38 conceded, minus 4 goal difference. I think we're doing quite well considering. If you look at the teams around us, minus 11 above us for Bury, minus 11 for Chesterfield, minus 13 for Morecambe, and then it gets worse further down. So I think we're doing really well actually. Hopefully we can do a bit better towards the end of the season and maybe come up a few more places, but if we finish around 16th, I'll be happy with that. Moving on to the fixtures now, we move on to pre-season. We had some difficult games, but we also had some fairly easy ones, or should have been fairly easy. We only got 2 victories overall, so that was very disappointing. And the most disappointing part of pre-season was the 4-0 loss to Blue Square Bet Premier team Kidderminster. And as you can see, they did very well against us. 7 shots on target out of 10. We only had 2 out of 8. Moving on to the league now and the cups. We started really well against Port Vale, a 2-2 draw. We were 2-0 down at one point, and then we managed to pull it back through Gary Beckford. Unfortunately, Gary Beckford only played around 5-6 games and then got injured for 3 months, so that was very disappointing as well. Then we had the League Cup. We drew Huddersfield in the cup and lost to them 2-0 as you'd expect. They are a championship side. Dominated all over, 22 shots, 9 on target, 68% possession. Then we had a loss to Bradford in the league again, but then we went on a 3-game victory, then a loss, then a victory, then 2 draws, and so on. Up until our victory against Chesterfield on the 17th of October. Following that victory, we went on a really bad run with only a few victories every now and again, beating Bradford in the Johnston's Paint Trophy and Dagenham and Redbridge. The only upside to our season so far is probably the FA Cup again. We are in the FA Cup third round and we drew 0-0 with Luton, so that's a pretty decent result, and we have a replay in 3 games time. So we've got some alright matches coming up, so hopefully we can pull our position up in the league and hopefully finish around 14th come the end of the season. There's just one goal I want to talk about, so let's move on to that. Right, I'd just like to talk about the tactics we've been using this season. Last season we used a 4-1-2-2-1 with a central defensive midfielder, 2 central mids, a left wing and right wing, and a striker. This basically allowed us to score quite a few goals, as you saw last season, and we did quite well in defence. But in League 2 it is a totally different league, obviously. The pace is much faster, and if you look at my defenders, Matty McGinn, 8 acceleration, 9 pace, and you've got Ryan James, with 11 acceleration and 10 pace. If we look at the top of the league, Barnet, John Coffey, 13 acceleration and 16 pace. So as you can see, that is a lot different. He has scored 24 goals in 28 games. So that is the sort of thing that we're up against, and obviously having the 4 at the back and 2 in front of the back 4 helps stem the leaking goals. And like I said before, 38 conceded, I think we've done quite well there. If you look at Bury, they conceded 46, and teams below us obviously conceding quite a few more. But if you compare it with ones further up the table, Mansfield have also conceded 38, Carlisle with 30, AFC Wimbledon with 26, so we're not far off really. Let's move on to the finances. Pressing the wrong thing there. Finances are doing quite well, 1 million still in the bank. We were up to 1.3 at one point, but obviously expenditure gets to us. Mainly the youth setup and the tax. 74k last month for the youth setup and 54k for the tax. So obviously that's quite a lot. But thankfully our player wages, which are 7.5k per week, compared to the 90.1k that we were allowed, amounted to 30k last month, and our gate receipts are at 191k last month. So obviously if we can start bringing more income elsewhere, we can start evening it out and hopefully making a profit. I think that's probably about it. So that is my mid-season report. Thank you for watching, and please rate.